recently. I've seen on social media you guys are really killing it right now. But how are you able to adapt to it right out of the gate when COVID hit back in March?
Oh, we just had to make a few adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Well, we had to learn to start wearing the mask, of course,
Right.
not being around so many people, social distance, and just not being around huge crowds, and staying in a little bit more. Yeah, so that.
So you guys got the free Thanksgiving community thing coming up. I think it's on Monday, right? The 23rd of
Yeah.
November. What's that going to entail? What's going on with that?
Well, that's something that me and my brother, we put together, and we're teaming up with a couple of local artist guys, I think Slim Thug, and we're giving away free meals to the community. We like to give back. We have Burns Barbecue, and that community really keeps us going, so we like to give back and show our appreciation for, them helping us out.
I mean, that's pretty sweet, man. And obviously with 15 01 certified entertainment, you got obviously the 4-time All-Star. That's how I know you growing up, a 9-year-old kid with the Rays, Red Sox, and Dodgers. But now you're in the music industry. Was it always your plan to do that after you retired, or was it more of a spontaneous?
You always notice athletes always kind of diddle with play with the entertainment industry. So I was always looking at it from afar. I'm from Houston, so the culture is big here for the hip hop community. So I had a chance to dive in it, and I took the chance, and here we are now.
How late in your career did you kind of formulate that in your head? Like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is going to be the plan moving forward?
Pretty much like, around about when I would probably get ready to retire. I thought about it while I was like in my 20s, but it was like something that I really take serious. Then once I started getting closer to retirement, I was trying to figure out a couple things that I wanted to do, and that was one of them.
Wow. So you thought about that for like well over a decade then, if that came into your mind in your 20s. Like, what inspired you on the music side to want to pursue that at such a young age?
Because we had, here in Houston, like I say, the culture is rich here, so from guys like from Rapalot having their own indie company, from Swisher House, from SUC Click, we have some legendary independent labels that come out of Houston, and then I just felt like it was time, and I had the resources to, kind of repeat history again.
Wow. So what do you think is the biggest difference now that you've kind of dipped your toes in both industries, being a Major League Baseball player in the professional sports industry and now in the music industry? My brother just moved to Nashville. He's an aspiring musician himself, and he's kind of learning the ways of record labels and connecting with people. And it's a totally different ball game, I'm sure, because looking from it from like an outsider's perspective on the music industry, I'm sure there's a lot more chaos on the inside, and I'm sure you've learned that along the way.
It's way different. It's like night and day. Everything is a little more structured in sports, period. You know what I'm saying? This, that. And in music, it's the opposite. You just never know what's going to happen. You kind of just got to keep working hard in hopes of something to happen, more like in sports. We know if we train, we work hard, we know we might have a good season, So that's not always the case here in music. And you just never know what can happen. Things can switch at a drop of a dime, it's just, it's a little more tedious than playing sports. But, at the end of the day, I came to it because I had a passion for it like I had sports. And I only feel like I could do things that I have a real passion for. So this is, why I jumped in.
How early on were you making connections to launch the label? Like, as soon as you retired, it came out fairly quick, 2018. How long were you formulating this with people that you're connecting to?
I kind of knew about that I wanted to do it around 2009, 2010. I kind of got the idea that I actually wanted to do it for real. So, and I knew a guy that was kind of in the already, and so I used him to kind of get started. And, because those type of people are hard to come by when you're trying to get into music. It's so hard to get in when you're an outsider. So it's like you have to know somebody that can get you in, and then you kind of just start from right there. That's what happened with me.
And obviously, being a pro athlete, there's the discipline factor, self-discipline on top of being a coachable player. What's the discipline factor when it comes to the music industry and the record label? Again, totally involved.
Yeah, I just applied the same type of things that I applied to baseball for, is just outworking everybody, working hard, trying to be on time, trying to be professional, things like that. Be dedicated to what I'm doing, and just try to pretty much, show that, when you add, like when you don't have as much talent, but you work hard, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I tried to apply to this right here. Just try to be the hardest worker. Since I knew I'm gonna get judged for being an athlete and coming outside, I wanted to leave no reasons for why I'm here, So like nobody gave nothing to me or nothing like that. Yes, I had my own money to start with, but everything else I worked hard for.
Is there a little bit of criticism there, like you said, like jumping into it? You said you already had the money to start it. Like when you're trying to prove yourself as a record label owner and CEO, did you find it difficult?
People don't understand, why would you want to come do this? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you want to come here? The people that, like, from baseball, they'll probably say, why would you want to do that? Go to that, etc. Then the people that's there will be like, the people in music, they say, well, you was already good over there. Why you coming over here trying to take more from us when you already got this? So they don't understand that it's just something that you personally want to do. It has nothing to do with either one of those things, just the fact that you want to show that you can do something else. You retire from baseball. I don't want to just take my chances on something that I don't feel like I could do. I took my chances on something that I felt like I probably could accomplish still.
Yeah, I mean, it's a character thing for you, and you're trying to build that. How difficult do you think it's been, kind of recruiting / finding talent to build those relationships with in the music world? Because, like you said, like it's chaotic, it could be toxic at times. How difficult or easy do you think it's been building and maintaining some of those relationships with your musicians?
Well, the thing is, being new, I had somebody that was kind of new people already, a little plug. So I get introduced to a lot of people slowly but surely. But even then, me being a baseball player, with my own money, that's kind of intimidating to the music business a little bit. So they might meet you and they might not want to meet you. And even if they do, they kind of brush you off. So you have to just kind of like, just be yourself. And, the people you come across, if it's genuine, make a relationship with those people. If it's not, keep moving on and just, until you get to where you're trying to go and accomplish what you're trying to do.
What's the biggest thing that you guys are working on right now? Like, what's the biggest thing you're trying to accomplish right now with Certified Entertainment?
Well, we're trying to break our new artist, Erica Banks. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
She's a real artist. She's doing well, but, we have a lot of controversy here with our label right now because of our other artists that we have. And, so it's a little tough on her right now, but she's able to fight through it, and she's been doing well. And we got another couple of other artists that we want to sign to that we have, or we're about to sign to the label. And so coming into the next year, we got a couple of new artists that we're going to be showing out to everybody.
How many names did it take, like in a sense of like how long did it take before, like the Erica Bankses of the world and some of those bigger name talents came on your label? And we mentioned that trust factor. How long did it take for you?
So I retired in 2016, got right to work, you know what I'm saying, and just, signed people right then. So from 2016 and 17, we just was signing and recording really. And those were mostly people from local people around the city. But as people saw, even with Megan, she was local too as well. So pretty much all my talent came from just being like local. I haven't had a chance to get like somebody that was already big and buzzing to my label. We are the guys who kind of start everybody up from nothing and bring you up, and then you kind of be that person. But now that we are doing, with Erica coming on strong, people can see that, we are a label that can build an artist and, could take on those heavy duty jobs that might come our way.
Do you have a dream musician that you'd like to collaborate with?
Man, I think, a dream musician. I guess I'm just don't have like a favorite artist, what I'm saying? And then, Megan Thee Stallion is our artist. She worked with like Beyonce and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it's you don't get no bigger than that. So
right. So growing up in Houston, who did you grow up listening to? Like, who is your music inspiration?
I grew up listening to Scarface, Kim, UGK. You know what I'm saying? Slim Thug is from outside, Mike Jones. But pretty much all the Houston legends, Southside, Fat Pat, Big Pokey, all those kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? SUC. Click, I pretty much grew up listening to everything around Houston, but I didn't even understand that it was out of town rappers or East Coast rappers and stuff like other than Tupac maybe, you know.
Right. I mean, I definitely feel that. And
Yeah.
obviously, with 1501 certified entertainment right now, you guys got a ton going on. You got the Thanksgiving dinner on Monday. I wanted to switch gears to obviously your baseball career. Like I said, I was 8, 9 years old growing up in New Jersey, big time Yankee fan. You with the Rays, giving us a ton of problems
Right.
on the base paths. Growing up in Houston, though, how competitive was it? Like, what was the instinct factor that took over that drive that made you think, like, okay, I'm above all the rest here. I definitely stand out in a way where I can make it to the next level.
For baseball,
Yeah.
yeah, I played all 3 sports in high school. And I played, um, I made all Texas team in every sport, So
Wow.
baseball was just one of the things that when it's time to play baseball, it's time to play baseball, So I never even played a full season of high school baseball until my senior year because I had to play basketball. We'll go to the playoffs and stuff like that, football, going to baseball. So I just knew I was a good athlete, and I just knew it wasn't too many athletes that could do, the stuff that I could do. So once I saw Chip Ambers get drafted the year before me, I knew I was going to baseball. Yeah. It was no doubt in my mind. It was the summer before my junior year. I think he got drafted by the Marlins, and when I saw that, my mind was made up that I was going to play baseball.
Interesting. And being a Texas boy playing football, is it as big of a deal as everybody says it is in Texas playing high school football?
But like everybody take, guys, like if you got size or anything, the coaches will just come around and tell you, you got to play football. So football is a huge deal. I had a lot of fun playing with. I signed with Nebraska out of high school. So, it's just one of those deals where baseball took over, made the right choice. But football in Texas is always fun.
So getting drafted in baseball, like you were a kid, 17, 8 years or 18 years old, and you saying obviously starting baseball at such a late age in high school. Was it over?
I didn't start baseball late. I'm saying like during the season. I started playing baseball when I was young, but I'm
Right.
saying when I was in high school, I could never play the full season, you know what I'm saying, because I had to wait for basketball to be over with.
Okay, I got you there. And when you get drafted at such a young age, was it a culture shock for you? Was it overwhelming at first getting to the Devil Rays organization at such a young age?
I mean, yeah, it was kind of, but like I said, I was kind of ready to go. Like I said, I saw Chip Ambers get drafted the year before. I saw Rashard Lewis. He was in high school a year, in basketball, go to the NBA out of high school. So I was ready to go.
So a few years, fast forward a few years, you get drafted or selected, I should say, to your first All-Star game in 2004, and
Right.
it's at Minute Maid Park in Houston. How surreal was that week for you? Like all the festivities leading up to the game, I'm sure your family was there.
That was actually I couldn't believe it, because I was so young and I didn't think I had a chance at making the All-Star team such a young age. So I just worked real hard for 3 months. When I knew it was in Houston before the season started, and I was like, man, I know that's such a long shot right there. But I would never say nothing about it. But in my mind, I knew I wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? I just worked as hard as I could, and me and my head coach, we worked every day hard, and next thing you know, I got selected.
So in your early years, who would you say was your biggest mentor, inspiration, either from a coaching staff or a veteran presence?
I mean, believe it or not, I looked up to Lou Piniella a lot. He was our first manager. It was just his whole mentality. I know it was tough, but, we took that with us, the toughness, not wanting to lose, and just respecting the game and playing hard and stuff like that. So then his hitting coach, Lee Elia, was my first hitting coach that got me to the All-Star game. So, it was a little rough, but, I still kind of respect how they helped mold me into a player.
I mean, you got to evolve as a player throughout your tenure in Tampa Bay too, because what was it, 2008? And this might be a dumb question because I've actually never looked it up. And you being the franchise player that you were at the time in that organization, why did they go from the Devil Rays to the Rays?
Oh, I think they just wanted to take the devil off, I wasn't really sure. That's a good question. I think that's what it was. They just wanted to go to the Rays, take the devil off. But, whatever, for whatever reason, it worked because we was in in the World Series the next year or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, how was that 2008 season? I mean, you're there from 2002 through 2007, and it was a rocky road for you guys. The Devil Rays were a very, I don't want to call them like the punching bag of the AL East, but it was not easy.
We were losing 100 games a year,
Yeah.
and Joe Madden came in and he just kind of flipped the whole culture over there, as far as like the thought process, just being positive all the time, thinking positive for the first time. I never thought like that, and you just saw it you just saw everything just kind of switch overnight. It was really amazing because I didn't think he had a chance, but he came in with the perfect energy, the good energy, all that after the game and the clubhouse party and stuff. Yeah, we was all first to do that stuff. He brought it in. He had this loose mentality. He made it loose where, he didn't want you after 15 minutes. He called it a cool down after 15 minutes. 15 minutes after the game, you can be as mad as you want. But after that, just go and let it go, and we go on to the next game. And, that just seemed to work. That's the positive energy he brought.
So when all that clicks in 2008 and you guys win the AL pennant, first of all, how was that experience like, given all that you went through the first 6 years in the organization? How was it winning the AL pennant?
Finally started winning because, they Yankees and the Red Sox just beat up on us all the time. Then we got some young pitching, and I think we got a guy in the trade with Garza, who was a cat. We had Scott Kazman, Scott Shields, Matt Garza, some more guys, but we was all pretty much. Thing about that team was just everybody was so young, so it was just like a fun day every day. You know what I'm talking about? Just with imagine like a bunch of 20, 25-year-olds just having free will to do whatever all the time.
And competing in your first World Series at that time, I mean, growing up as a little kid, I mean, you dream of big moments like that. What's it like hitting a home run in a World Series game?
Well, that's great because, like you said, that's always something that you practice in the front yard with your playing, counting 3-2 count, 2 outs, all that stuff. So the fact that I can say I have a couple of World Series home runs is just one of those things that you always want it when you play Little League Baseball. Everybody want to hit a home run in the World Series.
And playing in Tampa Bay for those 8-9 seasons that you were there, I mean, Tampa Bay, small market, you go from playing in Tampa Bay with their fans to Boston and LA, where, I guess from a fan perspective, the expectation is a lot higher than it would be in Tampa Bay. Yeah. How much of a culture shock was that playing for those two organizations afterwards?
Well, going to Boston, I played over there a lot, so I thought I kind of knew, what it was like. But when I got there, it was totally different, and, you can understand they real passionate about their team and, just the whole, being in the cold weather all the time, the East Coast, the fans right on you, like it was tough. So I wasn't able to adapt to it, and got traded to LA, and then things kind of got a little bit better. But then I started getting injured a lot, and that's what happened with that. But as far as when I got to Dodger Stadium, that's the West Coast, so of course everybody loves that place.
And I was going to ask you, what do you think personally in 2011? Because they brought you in, they bring in Adrian Gonzalez as well. Yeah. I mean, the pitching staff, phenomenal, a ton of talent. What do you think personally just like didn't add up in that 2011 season? I mean, everybody remembers the collapse towards the end of the year and all that.
Yeah. When you get those kind of contracts, the pressure is enormous, so, and then you already got the pressure that you play with being in Boston. So we were still doing well at the end. And we just kind of lost it towards the end. I don't really know why, because we was doing well, up to that point. But it's just a lot of pressure. It's just a lot of pressure up there when you play.
And was that is this a fact or a myth, the whole starting rotation, eating chicken wings, drinking beer in between games?
I mean, that story just came up, I guess it was true, I found that to be true. So, and it was Popeyes right by the stadium. So.
Oh, interesting. I would fall into that too, for sure.
Yeah.
So for you personally, what do you think just didn't click in Boston after so much success in Tampa Bay?
I'm sure. Like I said, I just think it was a totally different for me for us. Like, what I'm saying? Like the coach is seeing a new city. I've been in Florida 12 years, new city. Like I say, the pressure was enormous. It's so many. It's like everything went wrong for me there. Like nothing went right for me there, and it was just unfortunate because hadn't I wanted to deliver for that city, but for whatever reason, I just couldn't get comfortable there. Couldn't get going at the plate. Couldn't do nothing pretty much, and it showed. And it showed terribly. And just it's one of those things you just have to live with.
And do you think if things turned out better for you personally, it would result in a much better relationship with the team and the fans?
What you mean personally? Like far as at the plate or just
Yeah.
playing?
So, like, if you were to play a little better, and obviously injuries led to that as well. If everything went like perfect case scenario, in a sense, do you think it would have been a lot smoother transition and a lot smoother relationship with the organization and the fans?
Oh yeah, I mean, playing well always solves every problem. So when you play well, it's no problem. You play, it's real simple. You play good, everything's good. You play bad, everything's bad. That's it.
And in the 2012 season, obviously you had your fair share of injuries. But I've asked a few guys on that Red Sox roster what it was like playing for Bobby Valentine. And for the most part, it was all negative stuff. I wanted to ask you, in the short time that you actually played for the guy, was it just difficult playing for an old school manager like that? Was his personality just –
I mean, he wasn't – for him really, it wasn't – I don't know. He got hired to be like the guy to come in and tell us what to do, like the big chief guy. He got hired to be like the sheriff, to come in and police the place or do whatever. But he's just doing his job or whatever. I ain't really have nothing negative to say about him because he didn't do nothing to me, But
right.
most part, I took him as he was coming in to lay the louder on and fix the problem that we had for the year before.
I mean, I definitely feel that with Francona in 2011 as well. I mean, you mentioned Joe Madden, what a culture change that was, getting to play for him in the latter years in Tampa Bay. And then you got Don Mattingly in LA as well. Who was the best manager that you played for?
The best manager I played for was hands down Joe Madden.
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying? It's just the energy. I think it's just the energy that you bring to your real smart guy, real intelligent guy, can answer any question you ask him, and make you not feel some type of way about it with the answer, So, but for the most part, like I say, I just to see what he did, with my own eyes, like that, I don't think nobody has ever brought that type of feeling upon, you know what I'm saying? So, man.
Now, he was doing like all those like gimmick things, like traveling with the team like in costumes and stuff. Was he doing that all the way back in the Tampa Bay days? Were you guys dressing up every now and then?
Yeah, that's when you brought it over there. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, they started all that stuff. They was doing that and dressing up and, have certain day. You might have a Jersey day or Texas day, See, when I left, when I got traded, I heard they was doing techno dancing in the room and like all kind of crazy stuff. So, yeah, he definitely bought that. And like I say, when it first comes, like you don't really you ain't too sure about it yet because it seemed kind of cheesy. But once you realize, you know what I'm saying, for the overall team thing, that it translates to wins, then that's the main thing. So
yeah.
Bro.
So are you still involved in baseball? Obviously, your family's tied to it. Your son's playing now. Are you involved in any way, shape, or form in Major League Baseball in any sense?
Nah, not right now. But like you say, my son is, what I'm saying, he's going up. So I'll be monitoring his situation because I know I have to get back in it then. But for the most part, I want to take a break from baseball and just kind of, do what I'm doing right now. And, like I said, I have an older son, a couple more sons coming up. So we'll see.
And the last thing I wanted to ask you before I let you go, I don't want to take too much of your time here, but given for the amount of time that you played Major League Baseball, making the change over to the record label and the music industry, having to deal with all of those relationships, what do you think has been your key to kind of maintaining a successful business partnership, even in baseball, like as a player going to the music industry as well, maintaining those healthy relationships while also maintaining a personal satisfaction and happiness. Because again, it's not a very easy thing to do on any level for anybody. So I kind of wanted to get your glimpse on how you're able to maintain a positive mindset and stay happy, which is the number one thing overall.
Cause I know where I'm trying to go still, so far as, I just keep in sight of where I'm trying to go and move in the future. So whoever I have to, I know I'm gonna have to deal with certain people to get where I want to go. And even far as trying to get my son to where he want to go. So I try to keep, everything good with people that I need to, as far as when I meet new people, I try to, stay in good graces with them so that I can always call on somebody if I need something or ask a question about something, or baseball, if my son got a question about something, or if he going to a camp, I can call this guy. And in the music, if I just need to somebody for whatever, I just try to keep everything cordial with everybody.
And is that kind of like the biggest piece of advice that you like want to lead by example for your kids in that sense? Like you mentioned your son going through the game right now and through that whole process that you went through many years ago. Is that the thing that you want to look to inspire him and lead him in the right direction so his transition is as smooth as possible?
Right. Well, him, I just tell him he just knows to keep working hard, keep doing the things that he's been doing. He's had my talent, so he's probably gonna even be better than me right now looking at it. So he just knows to keep what he's doing. I switch lanes because my kids has to know that we could play sports, but you know what I'm saying, you can do other things. They have to see that we can do other things other than just play sports, because that's what people would like to tag you with, like just
Right.
okay, you baseball player, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I can do this and I can do that. So I have to lead the example for as playing sports, when you're done doing something else. It might not be music for him, but, it might be something else. But he just needs to know, all my kids need to know that you're capable of doing whatever you put your mind to.
Right. I mean, like you said that perfectly. Like you're not a brand, you're a human being. And like there's so much more to you after your first love, which was obviously baseball. So,
Right.
Carl, thanks for being so generous enough to take time out of your day to talk to me. You got the free community Thanksgiving dinner on Monday. That's November 23rd. I want to thank Onyx as well for setting this up. She's been very patient with me over these past few days. And I hope you guys are staying safe, and happy Thanksgiving.
All right, man. Same to you, bro.